o'clock. Okay, so here we are. It's Friday, 12. We usually meet 11:30 to 12 on Fridays. This is the Agent Attraction Mastermind, and we get together and we share our wins from the week. We should be doing our 2 conversations a day, 5 days a week. 2 times 5 is 10 conversations a week, 4 weeks in a month. That equals 40. So that's 2, 10, 40. And so what we want to do, I don't know if there's any Rush Limbaugh fans or whatever. I'm not trying to be polarizing, but there was a thing. He had such a big following that he would, there would be people early on that would call and just rave up and down and, all this stuff. And eventually he said, look, we only have so much time. We want to get to some content. So I appreciate all the accolades. Let's just do dittos, right? So dittos from New York, dittos from California, and so on. So on that same vein, I want to share what our wins are, but I don't want to go into all the ins and outs and details. And, this gal has been in real estate 20 years and blah, 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 blah. You get a little bullet point, but I want to have time for everybody to share, and this group's going to grow, right? So with that being said, I'll start off on some of our, I'll share a win that I had this week. So as you guys know, I do calling Monday through Saturday, an hour a day. You can go on expfamilytable.com and you can see the scheduling and the Zooms. Tuesdays, Jeff and I partner up at 9 a.m. and we're on, Zoom with Jeff.live. Mondays, I do 9 a.m. Chat with Matt.live. Wednesdays and Fridays are 7 a.m. These are all Pacific. And that's Chat with Matt.live. Thursdays, Randy Bird and I work together. We do 8:30 on randybird.live. And then Saturdays, Don Yoakum and I team up for Saturday calling, which is actually a really good time to call, by the way, 9 a.m. Okay, Pacific. So with that being said, I was doing my calls this week. I think Troy was on one of them. Weren't that one that Simone said was really good? Weren't you on, Troy?
That was it Wednesday, Tuesday morning, Wednesday?
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Yeah.
That was great. That was killer.
Yeah. So I talked to, I'm trying to remember because I've had a few since then, but basically, a real top. Oh yeah, no, he was number 3 in the state of, or 2 in the state of Ohio. Yeah. Did 444 transactions or something like that. And so we just, had a great conversation. I think we talked close to 18 minutes and booked an appointment and so on. So, phenomenal, right? He's got a team of 19 and so on. So that was one of my wins. I had another one this morning in my early morning 7 a.m. calls, a gal that 3 years in the business. She did 70 transactions in her 3rd year in the business. She's crushing it. Been with the same company. And so she's heard a lot about EXP, but I'm the first one to ever call her. Can you believe that? First one. She goes, I've never had an EXP person call me. I keep hearing about it and I'm kind of intrigued. So yeah, I'd like to learn more about it. So we got an appointment booked. We're going to get together next week or the week after. So those are some of my wins. Those are both, icon and above team leader type people. Who else?
I have some good wins for this week.
Let's hear it.
I've been calling 15 agents a day, top producers.
These are in your group, right?
Huh?
These are in your group?
In my group and outside of my group. Yeah,
Okay.
I've been calling 15 people a day. And I actually have about 7 follow-ups actually scheduled. I've been talking with just top producers and they're absolutely amazing. It's been really fun getting to know them, talk to them. Right? And everybody has just random questions. And I love how they just start talking to me about it. Yeah. And I get to answer their questions. So we'll be lining them up with you guys pretty soon.
I love it.
I have follow-up appointments with them.
That is awesome. Good stuff. 15 a day.
A day. I'm trying hard.
That's great. Good.
I got my time block and nothing happens unless I'm done with my 15 calls. I'm actually scheduled for 25 today. So
okay.
I gotta get them done.
All right. And I love your background. It looks like Auburn, California.
Lincoln, close.
Lincoln. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's too nice of a day to be inside my office. So I've been working out here all morning.
I love it. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Who else? Who else got something great to share?
Yeah, Matt, I'll go. So just this morning, I called a recruiter back. She's been calling me from Live for about 6 or so months. And so we connected, and, kind of what I got earlier in the week was like, yeah, it's smart to be open to other avenues. And so I talked to her about her business and like, would you be interested in learning more about recruiting? And I'd love to see, what Live is doing for you. And so we set up a coffee date in 2 weeks. And so I figured, why not just take advantage of people blowing my phone up? Easy to set appointments. So that's great. And then I had a coffee date with another agent who's doing about 20 deals, and she really wants to get to the icon status. She's not necessarily interested in EXP yet, but she appreciates the camaraderie. Anyways, I invited her to build, and I've just been inviting different people to build, and it's just like, hey, you should come. And in fact, the recruiter, I'm like, let's meet there. Like, what are you doing? Let's go after Tony Robbins, we'll meet.
That's how you do it. I love it. And what was their response?
Yeah, they'll check the dates. I think it's kind of intriguing, but would have been better if I asked a while ago. But in CQ's call earlier today on Freedom Friday, failure of action is where growth happens. I think that's like an awesome motto for me for the week. It's like being okay with failing and getting some no's and some rejections.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You don't build the muscle if you don't lift the weights. Right. And so sometimes you fail.
Yeah.
So I love it. And I love your background too. Is that a photo that then you put as your background?
Yeah, that's it's at my house, at my mountain house in the mountains of Colorado. And I'm not there yet now, but I like to be.
Gosh, that is great. Awesome. So Mark and Mel, let's hear it. What do you got?
I have 0 wins this week, and that's because I've done absolutely nothing in terms of agent attraction this week.
Okay.
But Mel said I needed to get involved with this group, so that's why I'm here today.
You listen to your wife, happy life, right? She's like, hey, Mark, you need to get on this call. You need to do it. That's awesome. So is Mel here supporting you, or is she, how's your arrangement? Is she expecting you to attract agents and she's going to hold down the fort production, or are you guys tag teaming?
Actually more the other way around. She's the one that people are drawn to more so than me. She's got a much more outgoing, bubbly personality. Me, I'm more of an introvert in that respect. So.
Okay. So
not when it comes to karaoke. You should go to all the karaoke's around the valley, and you should attract all the agents that you do karaoke with.
So here's a win. Here's a win for you. So believe it or not, Tom Daves has call reluctance. Can you believe this? The #1 KW agent in the world, 7 years, who's a beast on the phones, has call reluctance. Right? Now I've known him 20 plus years. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, I do. Because yesterday I was with him and on Zoom, and we were talking on the phone, and he goes, I'm going to make some calls. I go, I want to hear you make a few calls, because he's been calling team leaders and so on and booking appointments. So I go, I want to hear what you're doing. And so he hops on, and I go, so, okay, I got to know your daily schedule, because it's 4 o'clock and you're now making your calls. Is that normal, or what do you do in the morning? And he goes, I got a lot of noise. It's like, I got team members, I got this, I got that. I'm handling escrows. And honestly, I got a little call reluctance. That's why I'm finally kicking my own butt at 4 o'clock and doing it. I go, wow, really? And so he goes and he gets out a beer, an IPA. And I go, what is that? He goes, oh, it's an IPA. He's in his office. I go, is that your call reluctance elixir? He goes, oh, I like that. Yes, this is my call reluctance elixir. I go, yes, you get this newfound boldness and you just kind of flow. And he goes, yep, that's right.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect, because that is his favorite beer. Mark, you've got a new potion.
Yeah. So, use sparingly, use wisdom. You don't want to go three IPAs in and be really elixired up where you're slurring or whatever. But it just took the edge off, and he was good. I go, hey, there you go, man. All right. I love it. So,
okay. So I got a little bit of a win. I got to share. Because
Yeah.
for me, it's big because I wasn't loud and proud about attraction before.
Okay.
And I was just trying to figure out how can I provide value? You know, you have, when you're on Instagram, which I have a lot of realtor followers on Instagram, a lot.
Wow.
And it's grown to almost 3,000 just the last year because I just decided to plug in. And it's not sellers, home sellers and home buyers. I focus on Facebook for that in our sphere and KV Core, but through Instagram, I'm going to use it for attraction because I know some people have done it successfully. So I've made several videos this week about how our collaborating is huge, especially in a market shift. And
Yeah.
I'll do fun videos. I'll do serious ones. I'll do how coaching, the pros and cons of coaching. And to me, that's a big step, including getting an appraiser on to help on a live every Monday, just to provide value
Yeah.
to agents, you know, and to grow at the same time, because I want to get in front of a bunch at once.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually searching. I'm listening. I'm searching for you. So
It's at the Mark and Mel team, eXp Realty.
at
Or
the Mark and Mel.
Yeah, at the Mark and Mel team, actually, just that, at the Mark and Mel team on Instagram.
Is it and or in?
It's A&D.
Okay.
Do you see us?
Yeah. There we go.
Awesome.
All right. I'm gonna follow you. You got one
Oh.
more realtor follower. It's not, I'm already in, but
That's
anyway.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
that's
you.
gonna
I
be
appreciate
good.
that. I'll
All
follow you
right.
back.
Nice. Well, now you're
But
gonna motivate me to get more involved with Instagram.
Yeah, it's really been motivating. I took some coaching from Krista Mayshore, and it's getting easier and easier to pick up the phone and talk to people. I've got one gal, she just went to Keller Williams because I got too late and I met her through Instagram, but we're going to talk. She's going to talk with me.
Okay.
So now she might know what it means to have a group of agents that are, collaborating and leveraging each other. She might understand better. And by that time, she might be ready to look at our model. So we're going to talk, she said.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. Do you struggle on finding realtors to call or who to call or making your list and so on?
Yes.
Okay.
I spend hours trying to figure out, because we did attract a lot of newer agents in the beginning, and it sucked. To be honest, there was energy suckers. Too much time. They some of them, we believed more in them than they believed themselves. They even left. They left the industry even during COVID. So it was like, now we have to get laser focused on, who we're attracting and who we're spending time pouring into.
I love it. Let me get something real quick. Hold on. All right. So this is going to help everyone because, a lot of people struggle. They're like, who do I call? Where do I find people? Where do I get the lists and so on? So this is going to help you get a list of names. Okay. So you can hopefully see that. Hopefully it's clear and you guys can read it. Right. So I'll kind of do this. You can take a screenshot or it is recorded. So we'll put that in there. Can you read it? Is it clear?
Is there any way I can't? Yeah. Is there any way we can get a PDF mail?
I think so. Yeah. Let me see what we can do, but I'll read it to you so you can kind of take notes. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So list of names. You want to have 10 whales minimum. Whales would be selling 50 plus homes a year, right? 50 to 750, so on. Have those on your list. Number 2, 10 solid producers. So, they're selling 16 to 50 homes a year. Then you want to have 10 newer agents. They're selling 1 to 15 homes a year. I would change that. I would not focus on newer agents unless they did, I just wouldn't do less than 1 deal a month. Because it's too much hand holding, and now the market's shifting. So it's even more, you got to focus on your own business to keep your production going and the income coming in. And then it's just what was easy for them to get a deal a month. They're probably going to go down with the shift in the market to 5 or 6, but they'll still be in the biz. But you get one that did 5 in a year, they're probably out. that just, it's not low hanging fruit anymore.
And
Uh,
Matthew, can I interject and
yeah.
question on that?
Yeah.
So I'm a mentor and I enjoy newer agents. It is a lot of work. I get that. Even the mentoring, at least the mentoring, you get 10% when they do sales. So in that regard, if they haven't produced 3 in the last year, would it be worthwhile to bring them over as a mentee? Or just, obviously it's not going to be as big of a profit as a whale.
Yeah, I think honestly, time is the most valuable resource we have. Once it's spent, we can't get it back, right?
Yeah.
Money's easily findable and replaceable and so on. So I don't really care, we're recorded here, but I don't think our mentor program is that good at EXP. I don't think it's as enough of a reward for the mentor. 10% for the amount of time and everything you're putting in. It's too low, in my opinion. That's why I'm not a certified mentor at the XP, because it's not my focus and so on. Do I love helping people? Yes. Do I love to see them get their first deal and so on? Yes. But honestly, it's like when you're flying on a plane and they tell you to put your face mask on first and then put it on your child's or whatever, right? You don't do it opposite, because then you both could die. So it's like, okay, I got to focus on, my business and my family and so on first. And there's only so much time. So I got to focus either on production or I'm me personally moving towards getting out of production and doing recurring income, residual through the agent attraction. Now, if I get my income where I'm at a point residually and I'm like, hey, I'm good. I own my time now and I want to give back to newbies in the business and do the mentor program, and the 10% or 20%, it's not really going to matter that much because I'm already set financially with residual income, right? So that would be my mindset on how I tackle it. I don't take on new agents at all. I have them approaching me all the time. Would you coach me? And I go, I'm not that. No, I love you, but that's not how I'm positioned or set up. It's not my focus. So I would be a terrible coach for you anyway, or, mentor. Now,
yeah, that makes sense. Build your wealth, and then you can be charitable with your time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, if I had to choose of taking on new agents and do the mentor program at 10%, or taking on new agents and building my own production team in my market, where now I'm maybe getting a 50-50 split or a 60-40 or, something like that, I'd much rather do that and take on a new agent and pour into them and building my production team. If I was going to, kind of motivated to go that route, that would probably be the only direction that I would go, not mentor. But I'm doing neither because I want to focus on attraction. I think we're at a very special moment in time right now. It's kind of that what's a Google moment. I've been using that lately. People are like, wait, well, you remember there was a day where they're like, Google it. And people are like, what's a Google? Now that seems crazy. Like everybody knows, oh, you just Google it, right? It's now common culture. But it wasn't too long ago where people were like, what's a Google? What is that? Right. I remember when I was saying, like, Google, what's that? I'd never heard of it. Right. Well, if you could have invested and been involved and been rewarded for spreading the word of Google, where no longer it went from what's a Google to, oh yeah, just Google it, commonplace. Yeah, you'd be a wealthy, wealthy person, right? Well, that's the way I look at it with EXP. Is there's so many realtors out there that have heard of EXP, so they're past the what's a Google, but they're not engaged with it. They don't know. They think they know, but they don't know the reality and the facts, because if they did, they'd be here, because there's no other model out there. So hopefully that answers your question. Kind of a long-winded answer, but I kind of like to give you multiple facts.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing. Hold on. Operation error. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
It looked like an earthquake on your screen for a minute
My
there.
microwave or my microphone fell off my standing desk. Okay, we're back. Okay, I want to share something with you. Oh, sorry. Let me finish the list. So 10 newer, 10 getting licensed. I don't spend a lot of time on that, but it's on Brent's list originally. 10 whales from other careers. Now that's really important, because there are people that are absolute rock stars and would crush it in real estate and crush it in recruiting. They just haven't thought about being real estate. They don't know that they could get rewarded for attracting, right? So that's big. And it doesn't take long to get their license. I mean, 90 days in some states, you can get a license and you're good to go. And they do not have to sell a house to be able to participate in rev share. Pretty amazing. 10 relatives, 10 friends, okay, 10 ex-coworkers, 10 college or childhood friends, because you'll be amazed. You'll reach out to them and they'll go, well, it's funny you say that. I'm actually studying right now to get my real estate license. Oh, how about that, right? Or, hey, my aunt actually just got her license, or so on. Or my aunt owns a brokerage. It's funny you mentioned that, okay? These are connections that were not in our periphery when we were just before EXP, because we were just focused on buyers and sellers. But now we're like, okay, we need to attract agents. So when we used to reach out to buyers and sellers and friends and family and sphere and say, hey, who do you know that's thinking of buying and selling and so on? And it's that who do you know kind of thing. Well, now we're doing it with agent attraction. So some of these ex-coworkers, childhood, college friends, they may not be licensed, they may not have an interest, but they may have a family or friend that's crushing it in real estate in Pennsylvania. And it would never been on your radar, right? 10 folks you do business with. So that could be, here's a great story. Russ Colau, who's a beast in EXP now, was a trainer, bold coach with KW. He was a home inspector here in my market in Roseville. I used him on home inspections and so on. He went and moved to Texas, got his real estate license, got into KW, became a leader, a coach, and a bold coach, and then moved over to EXP. And I don't know where I think he's about 120 agents right now and growing. He'll have 1,000 plus. I mean, right? So don't discount anybody. It may not be them, but they may know someone, right? And then 10 independent brokers that you know. Now, 10 independent brokers, I wouldn't advise you in the last year to 2 years to spend much time calling brokers, because they were making money hand over fist. It was the best market we've seen in the history of real estate, in most markets. And, they got ego. It's their sign, their name on the sign. It's been a tailwind environment and so on. But now with the market shifting, I think we're still a little premature, but give it another 6 to 8 months and the market keeps shifting and tightening and so on. They've gotten pretty fat and happy and gotten used to that tailwind environment and the best year ever kind of thing as being normalcy. And now it's shifting and changing. And so they're like, okay, I may be more open to talking about removing liability, removing overhead and capital risk and some of these things and shifting that over to EXP and getting rewarded. So that's good to have that on your list, 10 independent brokers. Okay. Also, I want to share something else with you. All right. Curious, can you guys see that when it goes across my screen and it's a workplace notification? Okay, you just hear the chime. Okay, good. Good to know. All right. Here's why it's game over for us in EXP, and how EXP is absolutely just turning the industry on its upside down, and we're going to get wealthy. Okay. I don't think anyone was with us up in Tahoe. Kim, you were in Tahoe? Yeah, you learned to juggle. Yeah, I remember. All right. So I don't know if this was shared on Wednesday when you were there. Gene Frederick shared this on Tuesday with our leaders meeting. And it's interesting. Would you, I'm assuming people had jobs and were employees prior to getting their real estate license. Is that fair to say, everybody on this call had a job, got paid, you were an employee? Okay. So what's interesting, now you've tasted commission money versus employee or salary money. Which would you work harder for? Is it you work harder for the guaranteed per hour or salary, or do you work harder for the unlimited commission-based, so on, right? Easy answer, you're going to work higher for commission, right? Always, you work harder for commission and so on. So what's interesting is you take Keller Williams as an example. They have what's called a team leader position. And a team leader, their job is to recruit. I mean, they literally, that is their job, and what they're hired for is to grow the office in numbers and recruit. Now, that's a salaried position. Now, it's, you know, it's a decent salary. I think most of them are on average probably about 150,000 a year and some other little benefits and so on, but they're an employee. So they are recruiting and building for the operating principal, the OP, the broker owner of Keller Williams in this case. And you could take the team leader role for any company. You know, it could be a team leader for Century 21, Coldwell Banker. But what's interesting is, and they're held to high accountability, high standards. You know, the burnout rate's like 18 months with KW team leaders. Okay. But they get a good salary and so on, kind of guaranteed money, but it's employee. There's 820 roughly team leaders across the nation, America, Canada, et cetera. Okay. So that's over here. Now, here's why EXP, it's a done deal, game over before we even really get going. EXP currently has 85,000, 86,000 agents. Okay. As of, what is this? August of 2020. And what's interesting, about 10% of the agents actually recruit. It's actually about 20% try to recruit. The majority of them don't do it well, like you guys on this call and are being trained and so on. So really we'll be conservative and say, or we'll give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt. 10% of agents in EXP do recruiting decent. Okay. That's 8,500 agents nationwide in Canada that are out attracting and recruiting and so on. And do you guys, Troy, do you get paid a salary for showing up at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and making calls with me? No.
Nope.
Kim, you getting paid a salary from EXP if you do those 15 calls?
No,
No. Why are you guys doing it?
build our future.
Build your own
Others.
future.
Help
Right.
others grow their future too.
That's right. Build your future, your family's financial future, your kids' willable income. You're building something of worth and value. When you're an employee, that team leader for Keller Williams, 820 of them, professional recruiters, they're building something of value for the operating principal. Hopefully they earn an opportunity to be able to buy in. You know, I don't know, when I bought into KWs, it was 18 to 22,000 a percent. And it was a terrible return on investment when you factor inflation. So they really, if they get real, they're not getting any value and so on, right? But at EXP, we have 8,500 recruiters that are professional that are not getting paid one dime by EXP salary-wise, but they're getting paid on commission. And you'll work a lot harder on commission because it's for your family and it's an unlimited ceiling. And you actually get something of worth that when you step away and you retire, you will continue to get that residual reoccurring income. So here's what it looks like. And this is, oh, let me just put game over. Game over. It's already done. So here's what it looks like. Okay. If you're meeting with an agent for your coffee date or whatever, Troy, you go, hey, let me show you something. You show the KW, you go, phenomenal success story, 170, 80,000 agents worldwide, you know, about 820 or 860, I'm reading upside down, 820, you know, and you go into the mindset and their salary and all that I did. And then you go, let me show you something, why it's already game over. It's a done deal. We've already won. EXP, 85,000, 10%, 8,500, right? I'll tell you, that is an eye opener if you meet with KW team leaders and so on, because, and KW agents, they go, oh, that makes sense. That's why you're growing at 1,000 agents a week. And KW has averaged about 1,000 agents net every year. You realize that, right? In the last 3 years, they've grown about 2,700 and some odd. We'll just say 3,000. So about average of 1,000 agents every year, they've net growth, KW. And then that same time frame, we've grown 60,000+ agents. And we're just getting going. We're not even at 10% of our goal. Any product that hits the market, when it gets 10% market share, it goes exponentially growth curve up like this. You look at the iPhone, so on, 10% market share is like a magic number and so on, market penetration. we're at 8.6% of our goal of 1 million agents worldwide. It's a wrap. It's just a matter of time. We'll be the #1 real estate company in the world by agent count by the end of next year. It's already predictable. It's already a done deal. So how much of it do you want to get? How much do you want to change your future? How much? That's why Mel's like, Mark, you got to get on this call, buddy. You got to get on with me. I don't care how much introvert you are. You can do an hour. Come on. Right? Let's do it. So any questions? I want to keep it to 30 minutes. I want to make it a value. We're all busy. But I want to try to bring some value to you guys each week, but then also each other bring value in your wins and successes.
That's awesome. I really feel grateful for this. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. It's awesome stuff.
Hold on 1 second. I've been tracking this guy down. Hey, Adrian, hold on 1 second. I'm just wrapping up the Zoom. Okay. Cool. All right.
Well,
All
there
right, you
go.
guys. Go make it happen. Go get your 18 calls in today, Kim.
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
almost
right?
done halfway.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. All right, you guys, be blessed. Have an amazing Friday and make it a productive weekend.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.